aren't we?
We are on. Hi, Salla. Welcome to
Hi,
my
Bitty Penny.
channel.
Thank you so much. It's
I'm
so
so
great
glad
to
you're
be
here.
here. Thank you. Me too.
Yeah, I love that we can have this community online where I can be in Texas and you can be in Sweden and we can be crafting together.
Yeah, or even in Finland where I actually live.
Oh, you're in Finland. I thought you were in
Yeah,
Sweden for some reason.
yeah. No. Finland.
Finland. Awesome.
But it was really close, so.
Yeah, they're not too far apart.
No,
Let's
definitely
see.
not neighboring countries.
I'm trying to find our live.
Yeah,
I had
I
two
just had a
scheduled.
notification
Let's see.
pop up. Oh, hi, Vicky. Good morning.
There we are. Good morning, Vicky. And Vicky's in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It
Cool,
seems
cool.
like,
Oops.
I don't know why, it seems like the screen is a little smaller than it normally is.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to um, adjust my setting here just a little bit so that people can
Yeah,
actually see what
usually
I'm doing.
when we go live together, let's see, how can I move this? There we go. Usually it takes up the whole screen on the for the viewers, but it's not for some reason.
Yeah,
We'll make it work. Hello, Natty and
absolutely.
Moon. Good morning.
Hey, Natty. She was
So,
such a sweetheart. She actually set an alarm to be here.
oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and
And hi,
hello, Kim.
Kim. Kim's in Alaska, and so she's not sleeping. Oh, Kim.
Okay. Um,
Vicky's
maybe
headed to
Kim
Texas.
is. Yeah, Kim could be actually. She might be a vampire,
I know,
like your
right?
internet. Yeah. I
Oh
don't
my
know
goodness.
how much you were able to catch up last time. I think it was the last time when you were live,
Yes,
but
I saw the.
yeah, yeah.
I hope that this time it won't be an issue. Hi, Penny's Porch. Another Penny in the house. I love it. I've been finding more pennies in our crafting community lately. Well, I let
Awesome.
Sala pick what we were going to do today. And she said, what about Scrappy Saturday? So, um, Gail Augustinelli does Scrappy Saturdays. Kim says she's not a vampire, she's a stalker. Let's get it straight. And so, I'm always ready for scraps. I have a huge box of them. And so I'm totally down. And then I posted something late last night to see what people wanted us to get scrappy with. We got 63% of people wanted us to do scrappy cards. 26% of people wanted us to do journals, and 11% said they're on board for master boards. So, with that influence, it sounds like I'll be making scrappy cards today. What were
Mm-hmm.
you thinking
Mm-hmm.
about making, Sala?
I've got no clue. We'll see.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah,
here's my
actually.
craft roulette card from last night. So I'm going to leave
Oh,
that
you
on
did
the
it in real
screen while I
time.
grab a pile of scraps.
Yeah.
Uh
Wow,
oh,
that
Kim's
is
only got
awesome.
9%. Hello, Miss Karen. Good morning. All right. Well,
And
let the scrapping begin.
yep,
Let's see. Sala, do you watch Craft Roulette?
yep, I do.
Awesome.
And I even occasionally take part in it.
I thought I had seen you. Well, I knew I had seen you there before, and I thought I had seen you submit a card before as well, or maybe I saw it on your Instagram. So for all of those, I'll probably mention it multiple times throughout this alive. But Sala obviously has a YouTube channel. It's called Card Times Ahead, like hard times ahead, but Card Times
Yeah.
Ahead. And that is also her handle over on Instagram if you want to find her and follow her. I'm sure she would love it.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, of
Um,
course. Of
yeah,
course.
and I'm always happy when somebody actually pops in and says hi. So please don't be scared of me. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah,
um,
I know the feeling. Like, I remember when I started my channel and I got like a comment from a stranger, and it just was like, oh my gosh, these this is real. This is happening. I'm actually posting videos. People are
yeah,
seeing it.
exactly.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
amazing,
those
really.
feelings.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for so many of us. I think many people don't have like local crafty friends. Although, if I've understood it correctly, you have actually made some friends locally through,
You're correct.
yeah,
That is right. I didn't know anyone in the crafting community in real life, so I came
yeah,
on to YouTube. And then coming onto YouTube, I found all kinds of crafty friends right here in my neighborhood or just a mile or two away. And we meet up now, and it's wonderful.
yes, absolutely. That's
Has
yeah.
that happened to you?
I'm
Have you found people near you in Finland since you got online?
well, I know there is somebody who lives nearby, but I have to say I'm like really antisocial person. That's just my nature. I absolutely love connecting with people online, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't go to real life. I often hope that I would have like friends nearby that I could craft with, but then I don't do anything about it.
Well,
So
I
there's that
myself am just
contradiction.
incredibly busy most of the time. So for me, just scheduling something even online seems like such a challenge that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to make it in person. Like, even though I'm really close in proximity to a few ladies, it's still difficult to see them as often as I would like.
Hmm.
It seems like all of my scraps are really green today that I've pulled so far. So, my strategy and plan is I've pulled a lot of scraps. I'm going to go through them. Um, and then I think I'll just grab some ephemera and just make some scrappy cards that way. It looks like they're going to be very
Yeah.
green.
I made it really easy for myself. I just took one kit, I think. I'm pretty sure these are all from one kit, or at least matching kits. I
Uh
know
huh.
these are all from Natty and Moon. I am in her design team, so
Oh, awesome.
yeah. So I have
Does
a
she
lot of scraps.
tell us about her as we go. Tell us about Nadia Moon. I haven't heard of her, but does she have digitals?
Yeah. She has an Etsy shop. Um, she's such a lovely person, and
Oh,
I can say with confidence that she really does it all. There's something for everybody on her shop. Please go and check it out. Um, she does romantic roses. She does a little bit of horror stuff. She does
oh wow.
criminals, detectives.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She really has it all, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. I hope I am. I really hope I am. But I actually have been working together with Natty on something. I sent her a message earlier if I could reveal this, but sadly I don't think she saw it because
Well,
she
she's
was
here with
sleeping.
us.
Duh. Yeah,
Yeah. So
um,
Natty, let us know. Send
I
a
can
thumbs
share.
up. You can
Awesome.
share. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I can share. That's so awesome. Um, I have designed a folio kit with her. Yes.
Awesome.
So, oops, I have forgot to trim that off. This is still work in process because I had a little pet emergency yesterday.
Oh.
I needed to take one of my guinea pigs to the vet to have a minor surgery. She's doing fine now, but yeah. Anyway, so I was supposed to finish this yesterday. I'm sorry, I didn't. But yeah, basically what we did is I designed the base for the folio slash mini journal, and she did all the hard work, which is
uh,
putting
the
the
insides and
patterns
the
together.
ephemera and things.
Yeah, or actually even the tags and journaling cards, the shapes are all designed by me, and the measurements and everything. But she did the like graphical creative part of this. So
Nice.
yeah, but this is going to be in her shop. Sadly, the view is kind of thin right now, but I will be sure to post more stuff about this,
I
and
love
she
the
will too. So
theme.
yeah, yeah, this is so gorgeous, and she also has other themes, the same journal but other themes coming up. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting. But I'm so proud of this project.
Yes.
To be honest, it was great
It
because
looks
she was
really
like,
cool. It looks like it has a journal in it,
yeah, yeah, it does actually.
as well as the pockets and the things. That's
Yeah,
a really neat feature because a lot of times in folios you don't see a signature. You
exactly.
know?
Yeah, and the
That's
problem with
cool.
folios is that they often don't have a spine. And this
Uh-huh.
is actually the point why I started making this. Because, oops, let's put it so that it actually looks together or looks good. But the problem is that there's not a lot of space to put things into the folio if there are no spines. So that
Right.
was the problem we wanted to solve, basically.
Uh-huh.
Um, this has, I think, 6 pages folded in half, which leaves us at 24 pages
24
to
writing
write on.
pages, which is an
Yeah,
excellent, a good amount.
yeah, absolutely. Plus, there's so many tags and journaling cards and pockets for things you want to add. So yeah, it's a good size, really.
Nice. I
Thank you
think
so
it's
much, Natty.
lovely.
Thank you.
Congratulations. What an awesome like adventure and achievement. And it's just the beginning, and I'm sure
Yeah.
your mind's already spinning with more ideas and more things that you want to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You
I
bet.
know that feeling.
Yeah, yeah, it's like once you get started, you really can't stop.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a small surprise that I've been able to sleep altogether.
Yes, I know that feeling too when I get really excited. I was worried I wasn't going to sleep last night, so I took a little
Yeah.
melatonin because I was so excited to get to craft with you today. And
Uh,
a little worried, like, will I sleep well? But I did. I slept well, and so all is well.
Yeah,
All is not
awesome.
well if I don't sleep well.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Trust me. Yesterday, I'm just trying to find myself a scrap piece of paper while we talk. There we go. um, but yeah, it was really late when I went to the, you know, vet to see the vet. I
Yes.
went there at 8:30 in the evening, and they had some emergency stuff right at that point. So we
Oh.
decided that I would leave the guinea pig there, and they would text me when they were ready with her because she needed to be she needed anesthesia,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, well,
I'm so
I
glad
was
she's
waiting
okay
and
now.
yeah, I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then all of the sudden they call me, and I'm like, oh no, she's definitely dead, but she
Oh,
wasn't.
oh, thank goodness.
um, yeah, they were just like, I'm sorry, but we had like an emergency surgery coming, so the doctor did not have time to do the page or the writings and all, so that I would have some sort of instructions to follow with her. So yeah, that was the issue they had. So they were just asking um, if they could keep her until the morning, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, go ahead. But at that point, it was like almost 2 a.m., and I had stayed up. And they were like, okay, so will you come and get her around 8 a.m.? And I'm like, sure. And so I woke up at like 7:30 to go and get her, and I've been up ever since then. So it was a short night,
Yes.
but
Hopefully
it's,
a
yeah.
nice like cappuccino latte or tea or something, whatever can keep you going. Maybe you can take a nap
Yeah,
after our live because it'll just be the
yeah.
afternoon.
I've got a decent size coffee here with me.
Oh,
I'm hoping it will
excellent.
work.
I am just layering up all these green pieces. It looks like I have enough for three cards, three very
Yeah.
green cards. So I've got everything cut down. There'll be 5x7s.
Hmm.
What are you working on?
Surprising.
Oh, I know.
I'm.
It's a shock.
Yeah, I'm so shocked. 5x7s? What?
What? I know.
Yeah,
Really
but
going wild.
yeah, I'm just going with the flow here. I thought I would just make some sort of a master board for myself to work with. I
Yes.
thought that would be a good starting point.
Yes. I love master
So,
boards for scrappy cards.
yeah, absolutely. Especially because you never know what you're going to get when it's done.
Yeah, it's like a surprise.
Yeah.
I'm going to check in with the chat. Good morning,
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette. Hello, welcome. My friend Catherine Paul is here. Hi, Miss Catherine. I hope you're doing well. Vicky's making lots of scrappy cards, still trying to use up her scraps from all the Ladies' Day notebooks she made. Well, that's really cool, Vicky. Were you making those for your craft fairs? And
Hmm.
we've got the slow crafter here. Good morning. What's the name of her shop again? I believe it's Natty and Moon on Etsy.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know me, I love digital. So I will be going to Natty and Moon after this.
Yes.
I
She
can't get
also has
enough.
some, yeah, I think she has at least one religious kit too, because I know you have been wondering about those.
She has, I'm sorry, what? I was reading.
Like a religious kit. I
Oh,
think it has
cool.
like quotes from the Bible and
Oh,
so on. So
nice. I will check
Yeah,
that out.
yeah, because I think you were, at least at some point, you were doing Bible journaling and so on.
Yes.
Or
Oh, and like making prayer journals. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Absolutely. Well, awesome. I
so
will
that's cool.
definitely check it out.
Yeah,
Let's bye, Vicky. I hope you have a safe trip to Texas and you have a great day. Let's see. Miss Kimmy Girl's here. Hey, girl. Hey. How are you,
yeah.
Kimmy?
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm usually the one who's staying in this chat and greeting everybody, but right now I'm a little bit occupied with my glue and all. So,
You're fine because I love it when I go on to a live with someone on their channel and they just kind of manage the chat and I get to just be a guest. So that's what I want to do
yeah,
for you today. You don't worry about it. And I'm going to try to keep a better eye on things than I normally would. I get kind of wrapped up in crafting and then don't look up as often as I should, probably. Hello, Rose. Hello, Marylanders. And joining
yeah, but
in.
I kind of feel like I'm failing people whenever I'm not responding, and
I do
I don't
too.
know.
I know. I kind of get that feeling a lot.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much of it or something. I don't
Yes.
know.
I think if we're on and we're crafting and, you know, they understand. I think they
Yeah,
understand. Um, but still, it is nice to be able to keep up when we can. I've just got
exactly.
some random Paper Studio, Hobby Lobby. I'm sure the sound is probably driving a few friends here crazy, but I've got some random ephemera that I'm going to be adding in here. I kind of want to pull from both of these collections and see how I can mix them up. Probably going to be going
Yeah.
to Hobby Lobby with my daughter later today because they're working on some science projects in her class and they need more supplies. So I
Oh,
may
poor
be,
you.
oh, I know, I may have to go to Hobby Lobby and buy some things
Yeah. Oh no,
to
that's
support
so
the,
sad.
I know, to support the fifth grade class.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, here's a typewriter. That might be better
Uh,
than the crown, but I liked the crown. Let's see. I think I have my
yeah.
first card for the most part here. I mean, I've got to glue everything down, but conceptually, I might have it.
Yeah. This is actually quite funny because I was so sure that I would have like plenty of scraps and I wouldn't have to dig through any of the additional piles I've got going on in here. Obviously, I'm really organized and all, but I don't know who put the piles in here. Um, but yeah, I'm just trying to find something else so that I can avoid putting same patterns next to each other. So
One of the things that
it's
I
the same.
do if I'm like, these were all from like the same project, is I'll put them like in a plastic bag together so that all the like colors, like you're saying, and from the same collection stay together. That is one thing I like to do. And that way, when I come back to it, I have a bit of a cohesion and a jumping off point. So tackling my scraps isn't as daunting of a task that way.
Yeah, I would do that, but I've learned that plastic can be slippery, so
Yes, and
soon
everything can
enough the
slide out.
piles are falling down. Yeah.
Yep, I've had the sliding action go on, that's for sure.
Yeah, but
I just
I
have,
don't
for
know.
me, I've learned that I need to be able to see things. I need visibility because I did use the paper lunch bags for a while. Actually, some of the scraps I pulled out today were in that, but if I can't see it, I'm not as likely to use it.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah.
So if I have
Actually,
it in the sandwich bags, I can see what collection it is, and I can say, "Yeah, that's how I'm feeling today. That's the one I'm gonna use."
yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'm actually the same. I'm going through not a renovation, but kind of like remodeling my craft space here.
Mm,
Um,
nice.
I've got some big shelves that I put in, but the problem is that most of my stuff is still in boxes all over our place because obviously I needed to take it off from the old places whenever I
Ah,
started doing
yes.
this. hmm So right now I'm just wondering like, do I really need all of that? Because let's face it, I'm not really missing it.
I know that feeling. You know, if I was just if I was just a card maker, my craft room would be less cluttered. But because I make junk journals too, it
Yeah, yeah,
is
I know,
such
I know.
a challenge to keep everything organized and to um, store all of the things. And I've been thinking myself about, you know, reorganizing a few things, making some things more accessible, some things less accessible. But at one point, I had
Yeah.
my hubby put a box in our attic of junk journal stuff because I was taking a break from junk journals, and I have yet to get that box out. I don't even know what is in it. That will be a huge surprise one day when I finally get that out of the attic.
Hey, you gotta do like an unboxing. Just take the box out of the attic
Oh, that's a great
and
idea.
yeah, do a live. That
That's a
would be
great
so fun.
idea. What is in the old attic box? The old junk journal
Yeah.
attic box. I'm going to say hi to a few more people here who have popped into the chat. We've got Rose. Hello, Rose. I know you've been here a few minutes. Good to see you. Augusta, and Opal. Hi, my first time seeing you. Welcome, welcome. Miss Jamie Watts is here from rainy Wichita, Kansas. Miss Jamie, it has just been raining here non-stop this last couple of weeks. We're definitely having a spring, that's for sure. And then we've got my friend Cordelia as well. Good morning, Cordelia. Cordelia, did you see my cat cards? Did you see the cat book, Cordelia? Um, I have been building a cat package to send to Cordelia, but for my members, they have access to right now early access to this cat cards that I made with the book. They haven't seen the other three. I'm not going to spoil them yet, but I made 4 cards, and yeah, I just had to see if she saw that or not. Cordelia, it's under the Glue Crew. You'll see like if you go to members area of my channel, you'll see it'll say Glue Crew and is the thumbnail currently. I will be changing it to the cat thumbnail soon when I go. It'll go live next week for everyone else on my channel. But it's a 2-part series where I tested and used the new granulating watercolors from Ganzi Tambai. Kuretake, they released some new granulating watercolors, and I'm all about granulation. And so I showed everyone how to use those and made a card, and then I couldn't stop myself. So I made a part 2 and I made 3 more cards.
Yeah, yeah. Once you like something, you just gotta keep going.
Yes, just keep going.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to check it out, Cordelia. And hi, Mary. You're in Lincoln, Nebraska now. I was catching up on comments yesterday while at a doctor's appointment in the waiting room. And at that time, you were in Colorado. So I hope your travels are going great, Mary. Hope you're having fun seeing all the things. You've been on the road a while. What a great trip. I want a big vacation.
Me too. Tell me about it.
I need
Uh,
one.
yeah.
I so need one.
I'm
So your
just,
master board is coming along nicely. Hey, Rebecca.
yeah, I hope so. We'll see how it ends up to look like. I'm just trying to look at the comments a little bit to see if there's something.
Everyone's
Yeah.
checking in and saying hello. We're playing with our scraps for all those who are wondering. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Salla's here. She lives in Finland and she's here as a guest today. And she is making a master board with her scraps so that then she can make some cards.
Yeah. Let's see if I'm ever finished with the masterboard to make the
Oh, you'll
actual
get there. We're in
cards.
no rush. This doesn't, I don't have, a time limit here or anything. You, we'll
Cool.
finish when we finish.
That is awesome.
So no rush, no worries.
Yeah, my boyfriend just took our kids to their grandma, so I've got my schedule wide open, which is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
Isn't
tell
it
me about
wonderful
it.
having a supportive spouse? My hubby, I
Yeah,
couldn't do this if he wasn't on board, you know?
yeah,
And it's great having that kind of support.
yeah, absolutely.
Bye, love
And
you.
oh,
He's leaving to go to work.
yeah, I I feel it's so cute because whenever you are doing a live, it's often in
Mm-hmm.
the morning and he's going to work, and you always say bye to each other. It's like he doesn't just sneak out of the door. I
Oh,
just find
no.
that really cute.
Yeah, we've always been that way. We're that way with our kids. We always, whatever we're doing, we always stop and say goodbye and say the I love yous. It's just what we do.
Yeah,
It's how we
that is so
operate.
sweet. And it's awesome.
That love and that comes before all other things, right? So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I have some other random scraps I'm thinking about pulling into this one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to cover my ink blobs. This is actually just I've got an Epson Eco Tank
Oh, nice.
printer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and sometimes you need to clean it up a little bit. So I end up having all these um, like papers where you
Oh,
can
yeah, where
test.
you clean and test it
Yeah,
and clean the heads and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That look like this. So I'm just
Yes.
using one of those.
Perfect. I keep mine too, and I use it for things like for like when I heat emboss and or when I need to stamp off on something or like what you're doing master boards, like
Yeah,
I don't throw a piece of paper in the trash unless it's really exhausted and tired and just has to go.
yeah, yeah.
I
Tell me
try to
about
get
it.
as
It's
much
like,
out of them as I can.
but just like a little while back when you were talking about how your craft room would be so much more organized if you weren't a chunk journaler, I had to take this box out. It's like it has packaging paper basically
Uh-huh.
in different pieces, and then there are these it's paper that I've used to clean my desk, and I have some baby wipes with the same same thing. So yeah, this is why it's all a big mess.
Okay,
At
so
least
mine
this
looks
box
like
is
that,
organized.
but so much worse.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me, this is my good box.
Right? It's like that, but on steroids.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hi,
You should
Maggie.
see my top shelf.
Right? So I was going to say, it's awesome that you got a new shelf, a big shelf, more crafty space, but you know what happens. You
It
just
fills
fill it
up.
up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
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 like,
it just keeps growing. I
yeah,
was thinking about it because my craft room, I have a room dedicated to this, also used to be my office, but it wasn't long before I had to kick my office out and just make it my craft room.
yeah, yeah. That's the issue. You buy a bigger shelf and you're like, oh wow,
Let me
now I
fill it
can
up.
organize. Yeah, now I can organize everything and now it will look so pretty and I can actually do a craft room tour like everyone else does and it's going to be so amazing and yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. It's all one big hoax.
Yes, it is.
uh,
It most
so
certainly is.
yeah,
I saw Natasha from Treasure Books did a post about,
yeah,
people always want to see her craft room, but she was like, it's not, in rainbow order. It's not perfectly organized. It's not like a vision of splendor. I'm paraphrasing there. Um,
yeah.
it's just her workspace. And I, my husband usually doesn't step foot in here, but he's been coming in more lately. Just he can only get so far in. Um, you have to be a little squirrel like me to be able to actually make it into the craft room.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I was telling him, I know it looks crazy, but that's because a mad woman crafts here.
Yeah.
I think I may be a little mad. I'm perfectly happy, just a little crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
When
tell
it
me about
comes
it.
to crafting, the rest of my house, no, it's fine. But this room, it's uh it's quite crazy.
It's the one place you need to sacrifice to make everything else look pretty or to keep
Yes, you
everything else
can't have it
organized.
all together. So I have
Yeah,
sacrificed the craft room for the sake of the rest of our house.
yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
just close the
Uh,
door if we have company.
tell me about it. It's like, yeah, my boyfriend does not understand that.
Mm.
Um, not at all. It frankly pisses him off so much that this room is a mess. Like, he gets so frustrated with me sometimes. Like, I'm like, what's the big deal? We could just close the door whenever somebody comes in. And he's like, yeah, but I really hope that we wouldn't have to close the door. I'm like, nah, that's too bad.
Yeah, I hope a lot of things too. But
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could win the lottery so that I
you're
would have
right.
a cleaning lady coming in and making sure my crafting space looks tidy and all neat and so on. But
I've always wanted
we
world
can't have
peace,
nice
but yet
things.
here we are.
Yeah. Yeah,
So deal with it.
exactly. Hi, empty nest scrapper, and
Yes. Hi,
hello,
Maggie.
everyone else.
And Marylanders can relate to us. We are in good company. Miss Mary can relate to our crafty mess.
Yeah, I think I actually was diagnosed with ADHD just last autumn. So
Mm. I'm
Yeah, I'm like
undiagnosed.
that.
I self-diagnosed.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I obviously didn't want to say anything because it's none of my business. But I was like, oh, I kind of recognize myself in her.
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's like
sure
sometimes
I
what I thought.
am definitely ADHD. I've only come to realize it thanks to the internet. Um,
Yeah,
there's a lot of videos and things on it, and I'm like, "Oh, I can relate. Oh, 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 oh. Okay."
yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so funny because I'm 32 and I was 31 when I was diagnosed, and I've been like, how much easier would have my life been?
Oh, I
Uh,
know.
yeah, if I would have known. But I don't know. It's been crazy to realize that all of this madness actually has some sort of
There's a reason.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to realize. I mean, it's only actually been within the last week or two that I've been like, okay, fine. I think the problem is ADHD. Just coming to realize, okay, I think that's
yeah.
what's going on here. So now what?
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is that I started in a new place, a new workplace about a year ago, and I've been dealing with depression for years and years.
Mm.
And one of the people that I worked with was like, she has ADHD. And she was like, are you sure that you don't have ADHD? Because it's often misdiagnosed as depression, and that's why it doesn't get treated well, or it doesn't respond to the treatment because the actual cause of it all is not, uh,
Not
dealt with.
depression.
Yeah, so it comes back. The depression comes back because of the ADHD, and I was like,
Ah.
no, 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 I don't have ADHD, definitely not. Like, because I had this image in my head where
Of
it's
what that
like a
is. Uh-huh.
schoolboy that basically climbs the walls because they cannot sit still. That's the stereotypical image that I had
Version.
about
Yeah.
ADHD. Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't have that. Definitely,
It's
I can
definitely
sit
not
still
that.
really well. Yeah, but what I didn't get is that the stillness less, no, stillness
That
less
uh-huh.
something, I don't know.
The
The mess
hyperactivity.
is in my head. That's what I'm trying to say. The mess is in my head.
Ah, yes. So
So
it's not
yeah,
a physical um
yeah, exactly.
it is right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can sit still, but my thoughts don't stay still.
Yes. Agreed,
So
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
that's something. And since then, I've noticed that so many creative people actually have ADHD, which has been an um, interesting realization. It's like they often go hand in hand, it seems.
mm,
But yeah, it's been it's been an interesting journey. But whenever I started reading more about ADHD and what was previously called ADD,
uh-huh.
which is yeah. So I when I read more about it and all the boxes just fell into their place, I started crying at that point because I'm like, I'm not stupid. There's there's like, I'm not a bad person. I'm not lazy. I'm not this and that, all of the things
All
that
the
I have
things you've
been
told
calling
yourself.
myself.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And also by other people like my boyfriend, it's like, you gotta take better care of these things. Like, how can you forget this or how can you forget that, and so on. But there's actually an explanation behind it all. So,
Yes, yes. I think that's the
uh,
relief in things. When my son was diagnosed as being on the spectrum, autism
yeah,
spectrum, I, for the first time, understood why puzzle pieces were a symbol of the autism community. Because as a parent, it's like all the things come together and start to actually make sense. It's like a puzzle is put together.
yeah,
All these pieces that you've come to understand about a person or come to realize, they all come together to form a picture that you're like, okay, this is all this all adds up. This all makes sense. This all
yeah,
fits now. And yeah, it was through that experience I understood the the puzzle icon that they've used. That never made sense to me until I went through that experience. So, yeah, I've been thinking about seeking a diagnosis, or, just trying to find out, like, or, but I don't even know what you would do about it. My mother has it severely. She was just diagnosed, but she's, 70, and she's like, there's not anything they can really do for me. It's just an awareness thing. And the more aware you are about something, then the more you can help yourself, even if you're not going to find like a medication for it or whatever. Just the knowledge of it helps.
yeah.
Being
I've read
aware.
that the medication it helps about, I think it was 85% of all the ADHD years.
Mm,
um, but yeah, so it can help. But
mm-hmm.
definitely, like your mom said, it's the realization, it's everything that comes with it.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm right there with you. I've just come to realize, and like you said, it is a little bit of a relief because there are these internal dialogues that are not positive, that are not,
yeah, yeah,
um, you know, you, I don't know. I've kind of walked through my adult life going, well, what is wrong with me? There's something,
yeah, yeah. Why I'm
you
not
know,
normal? Why can't I
r-
handle things like a normal person? Yeah, I know
right.
what you mean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it's but it's like I think somewhere it said that a kid with ADHD gets 10,000 times more, or like 10,000 negative feedbacks more than a normal neurotypical
Mm,
kid. Um, by the point when they reach like 10 years old or something.
wow.
So, yeah, tell me about it. It's no wonder you think you are less than some other people
Right.
when that happens.
When
Yeah.
your brain is on that negative loop pattern.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it has been so hard for me to start my YouTube channel, because whenever I'm thinking about filming something, my first thought always is like, who's going to want to watch this? Like, this is not interesting. This is nothing new. Like, this has been seen so many times before. Who do I think I am? Like, wanting to basically waste people's time by
Mm,
releasing this stupid video that nobody doesn't or nobody wants to watch. So, yeah. But on your channel, it has actually helped me a lot. Like,
aw.
I see you as this positive, creative, really free spirited person who just enjoys crafting, like
Yes.
embraces everything with pure joy. And that is something I've tried to learn from. And I think I have succeeded a little bit. So
Aw.
yeah, it has helped me a lot.
I'm so glad. I was gonna say I've told myself all the same things you're telling yourself.
Yeah,
And I think what helps me is that I'm just sharing my journey.
yeah,
And my journey is going to look different than anyone else's. And I think once I really, made that the focus of my channel and made for even for myself, like this isn't about being an influencer. This isn't about um, getting subscribers and being a big channel. This is just about me sharing my journey. Then I think it took a lot of the pressure off of myself in the same way of going, well, this isn't how everyone else makes cards. This isn't, you know,
yeah,
I'm not worthy. That feeling, because it's not what it's about. It's just about me having a craft room full of stuff. I'm going to be crafting anyways. I might as well turn the camera on and connect with my community. And that really is, I started my channel during the pandemic, and that really was what it was about. It was, connecting with the community and in a deeper way,
yeah,
and a more, and I'm so glad that it has helped. I'm definitely, you know, true to myself in being, even if it is ADHD that I'm working with here. I am true to myself of, you know, being the free spirit. At one point I was on way too many design teams, and it was so difficult for me not to keep up. But when I come into my craft room, I don't know if I'm going to want to make a junk journal in the morning or if I'm going to want to do a collage or make cards. And when I was on a design team, I was a lot more locked into what I needed to work with, and I was locked into these deadlines and things, and
yeah,
it was not joyful for me. And so a couple of years ago, I just resigned from practically all of them and was just like, okay, I'm going to dial it back so that when I come in my craft room, I can do anything I want. I can work on anything that I want. And I add the design teams back in slowly at this point, for
yeah.
that reason. It's really just a protection thing. I would be on all of them if I could, but it's really just kind of a protection thing for me, to protect my creative journey. I'm going to say hi to a
Yeah,
few people. We've gotten really deep here, which is
true.
awesome. I love it. Salla, I know you hang out with the mindless crafting community, and they go deep as well.
Yeah,
So, and I love that about them because it is about more than crafting. Um,
hmm,
what we do and what
yeah,
we share is more than card making. And I know sometimes I know what you mean. Like, I would craft and make things and think, oh, people have already done this. This is nothing new. But what's new is in how we share, and,
yeah.
you know, and the experience and the connection. So, okay, I'm going to say hi to a couple of people. Well, Miss Janin is here. Hi, Janin. She's our Canadian friend. If y'all didn't know it, I have Sala here with me from Card Times Ahead. She has a YouTube channel and an Instagram. She's one of my moderators, and she is just a sweetheart and could not wait to craft with her. So that is my special guest this morning. It's her afternoon, it's our morning. And
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
see, who else? We've got Desiree. Hi, Miss Desiree. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Um, and Miss Mary
Seems like I've
Landers.
got all my favorites here today.
Aw.
Desiree has such a wonderful channel too.
Oh my gosh. I love Desiree. For a minute, I'm going to embarrass her. At least she can't be seen. Um, but I found Desiree early in her journey and at the very beginning of mine, at least her early on her YouTube journey. She had obviously already been a crafter, but, and at the very beginning of my journey, I found Desiree, and I thought she was the most unique. card maker, the most creative one. I love everything that she did and was a huge admirer and still am. I still think all of these things. But now I just have the pleasure of having her friendship too. And I pinch myself sometimes. Like, I don't know. It's one of those weird things where it's hard to explain, but like, you think, I'm just going to admire this person forever and they may never know who I am, and that's fine. I'm just going to keep admiring them. And then, you know, uh,
Yeah.
our paths cross in a deeper, more connected way, and it just feels like such a blessing. And I also kind of want to pinch myself at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, well, basically, I've been fan of yours for a really long time. Like, I've been
Aw,
watching your channel, and now I'm crafting here with you. It's like a small crafty dream come true. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. And, but I feel like most people in the crafty community are actually really down to earth kind of people. They
yeah,
don't see themselves as like, I'm this big YouTube superstar. You cannot
no,
talk to me.
right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah. And to
just
me, it signals that we need to dream more. Like if it's a if it's like a dream, which I felt that too, then I need to keep dreaming because
yeah,
it dreams do come true in that way.
exactly.
If you guys are wondering what I'm adding to my cards, I had a playtime yesterday evening in my craft room, and I got the new Dina Wakley transparencies and I painted them with acrylic paint and cut them all out. And that's what I'm adding here as my final pieces to my cards, these little faces. I have a video that'll be coming out. I made my craft roulette card. I was already crafting and watching craft roulette silently, and then they spun when they when those parameters popped up. I felt like I had manifested them because I was already working mixed media. I was already working with these people. I was already recording this video for you guys. And I was like, oh, all I have to do is slap a hello sentiment on it and my card is ready. This is too good to be true. So yeah, that was hilarious for me last night.
Yeah.
Rose is here. Hi, Rose. She says, my daughter was diagnosed with ADHD in college. I never would have thought she had any issues. So I was surprised. The RX helped her through college. Thank God. That is wonderful, Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a sneaky thing because, like Salla said, sometimes it comes out in hyperactivity of like bouncing legs and bouncing children. But I think other times it's the mental dialogue and loops and the activities and the number of thoughts and these other things, which is what I didn't realize until recently myself. And it was like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just for me the clearest sign that I had was really the fact that I was trying to get into a University of Applied Sciences. I wanted to read economics, and I was trying to read for the test so that I could take it and maybe get accepted in. But the problem was that I was reading and I was looking at the words, and I could understand what the single words meant, like really clearly. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, after all, it wasn't like really, really, really interesting subject for me. So I just I could not focus on it. So I, I understood the separate words, but I couldn't make any sense of the actual sentence because by the way, or by the time when I got to the end of the sentence, it was just, I had already forgotten what I started with. So yeah, or maybe sometimes I could like focus on half the page and then I would just lose focus. Like something would happen on my phone, even though it was on silent, and or something would catch my eye out of the blue, and poof, the concentration was just gone.
Mm,
So yeah, it can be really tough in academic world for sure to have ADHD.
yes. Bye,
Good morning, Gloria.
Cordelia. She has to go fix breakfast. Oh, I'm so glad you got to hang out with us, Cordelia. I'm glad you enjoyed watching and enjoy your breakfast. I'm going to be doing that at some point myself later, of course.
Yeah, and
Mary, hi,
Dawn.
or Marie, hi. How are you? Um, Beautiful masterboard, Rose says. You've made a beautiful masterboard. I have to
Oh,
agree.
thank you.
It is beautiful. And now you've cut it. How many cards are you going to be able to make out of your masterboard?
4. Um,
Nice. Then
I
I get to make
I
one
have,
more too.
yeah, I've got this is the European standard, or I think most of the world uses
Except for
A6.
the US.
Yeah, exactly, except for the US.
We're always the weird
Yeah,
oddballs out when it comes to any measurements.
yeah, tell me about it. I find it so funny when people are like, people from US, they will measure with anything, absolutely anything, except for
The world standard, the
yeah,
metric system.
exactly. Metric system, exactly.
It cracks me
That
up.
is just so funny.
I know. I know. I love it. Uh Let me see. Oh, Dawn's here. Hi,
Yeah,
Dawn.
we've
Welcome,
got Dawn, we've
welcome.
got Gloria, we've got Messy
Yes.
Missy. Good morning,
Hi,
everybody.
good morning, ladies. We are making scrappy cards this morning. I'm going to stick with the green theme. I think I have enough to pull one more out of my hat here. Let's see. Yeah, I do. I most certainly do.
Hmm.
Ooh, and I'll use some book page too. I have some torn book page here and all of my scraps. That should
Look,
be
once
enough to
upon
make
a
a card.
time, I was really smart and I die cut it like tons of these doilies. And now I can
Oh,
just use
nice.
those.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome,
I love
awesome.
it when I do that. And then I put my things like back in the package. And so I go
Yeah.
and I'm like, I want a doily. And then I have 5 or 10 that I made before. Oh, what a good feeling that is.
Yeah, it really is. Wow. I was so pleased with myself.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have projects like that because
Mm,
sometimes you want to be in the craft room, but you're not feeling creative, but you want to be in there and you want to be fiddling with something. So I think that's kind of the perfect time to die cut a bunch of pieces or to do those fussy cutting or whatever it is.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
Now
nice to
I've
have
got an
both
issue,
things.
like I can do 3 of the cards with the same kind of pattern with no questions asked. But I was dumb enough to put this little birdie on one of the cards, and I don't want to cover her up. Or him,
Ah!
probably him because he's colorful. Um, so now I don't know what I will do with this one. I think I will just do something. Is it scrapbooking day? Hmm. But only national. Why not international? That's so unfair.
Oh,
Oh, Okay, fine. I won't celebrate the National Scrapbooking Day then. You
Yeah,
can all
World
keep
Card
your
Making
holiday.
Day. Gloria is
Yeah.
asking if today's World Card Making Day. That's actually, I think, the first weekend in October.
Yeah, definitely in autumn side of the year, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Hmm.
Which will be here
Okay, I
before
will
we know
just.
it.
Yeah, yeah, tell me about it.
Time is
It's
flying,
horrible. Yeah,
that's for sure.
except when you wish it would.
Oh, right. Well,
Hmm.
that's
Oops.
typical.
Yeah. I've Time is flying and I've got things flying on my desk.
Uh,
I was
Perfect.
Yeah, I was smart enough to cover, or not cover, but fill my ink pad before the live. But did I actually remember to even it out? No. And now it's all a mess. Nothing new there.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Do you still do that monthly day when you like do the
My
cleaning and filling
maintenance.
and yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm
The
proud of
month
you for sticking up to that.
Sometimes I'm better at it than others, but yes,
Yeah,
monthly maintenance is something I do, and um it is really really helpful. Just refill bottles, refill ink pads, um whatever needs, clean things, wipe things down,
yeah,
organize. Um, but yeah, I find it to be really helpful so that I have things ready to go.
yeah, exactly.
Especially
I
because the only
usually,
crafting that I can do Monday through Friday is 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's it. I've got that
yeah,
1 hour window. So I don't want to be stuck, you know, not having
filling
things
up blue
ready.
bottles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it. Life can be so hectic sometimes, and whenever you can steal a moment for yourself, it really sucks if you don't, you know, if you actually can't do that. Um, I have spoken about this subject before. Most of the people here probably know that I tend to lose my crafty mojo. I blame
Mm,
ADHD for that too.
right.
I blame it on
It's
everything.
fair. Right.
Yeah. So yeah. And I back when you were talking about design teams and the pressure you feel, I joined Natty's design team on December, I think, and I know all about the pressure. I was like, once again, I found myself thinking, this is not good enough. This won't do,
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah,
I
I made
I
it
went
even
through a lot
harder
of
for
that.
myself. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So especially because it's my first design team, and I wanted to make Natty happy so bad.
I'm
I didn't
sure
want to
you
disappoint
have.
her. Yeah, but you know, because I've been away from work for almost 6 months now because
Mhm.
of the depression, and now they're finally agreeing to start treating the ADHD instead of just depression, which is great. I'm hoping that will work. But Natty has been so understanding about all that. Like,
Oh.
she really gets it that sometimes life gets hectic and crazy and all that, and things happen. So it has been a huge relief for me. And once I kind of realized that uh, I I couldn't do what I signed up to do, and I I basically didn't didn't do anything for a couple of months, or even if I did something, it was really hard for me to take pictures and post things for some reason. It still is. But
Oh,
yeah, she has really been a sweetheart about all of that.
that is awesome
Um,
to have
yeah,
someone in your corner, you
yeah,
know, and I'm sure it just makes you want um to do more, like I think
exactly.
it's when you have that kind of support, you're like, okay, I'm definitely in the right place. Like if I'm going to be on a design team and I'm being supported and encouraged and they understand, my circumstances, then that just
Mm,
makes you want to be there even more. And you realize you're in the right place, like you're working with the right people,
yeah,
versus if
absolutely.
it were the other way, you know? And
Yeah,
doesn't it feel
yeah,
good to like the the people that I design for, I I just feel good about sharing their products, their art, with others. I've been on design teams where it didn't feel that way. Not many, honestly, but just one or two where it was like, you know what, maybe this isn't the right partnership. And not that there was
yeah,
anything wrong, but it just didn't feel like the right partnership. I was
yeah.
on
It
one this
wasn't for
year that
you.
I had to step down from because I felt that way. I felt like it wasn't the right fit. But that's why one thing that I do is I try people on. So if they invite me to be a part of their design team or something like that, I like to just do like guest spot or a month here or a month there and figure out like, are we a good fit? Is
Yeah,
this, you know, is this what works for me? Um, and I think that always makes me feel more comfortable because I know that I do have um, I'm not fixed. I don't feel stuck or fixed, that I can actually try it on for size and see if it really does work for me or not.
yeah, exactly. And in a way, realizing that you are in a supportive group, um, it takes the pressure off, and that was for me the key to start doing things. Actually,
Mhm.
so yeah, but like you said, for me, it has never been about just being in any design team. It has to be the right for me. I have to um, I have to believe in the company. I don't want to just be selling snake oil, basically,
Yes.
just because so I can say that I'm fancy now. I'm in a design team. Look at me. That's
Right.
definitely not me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, it has been a journey, and luckily it is still going on.
I
I'm so
think
happy about that.
for myself, I just learned a lot about myself too when I'm serving on a team and doing that kind of work. I learn a lot about myself. I like the accountability, and that probably goes back to the whole discussion we had earlier. I do well when I have accountability, but I need my accountability partners to be understanding.
Yeah.
I've never done well with a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
I would have never made it in the military had that been something I wanted to do. I don't do well with that that doesn't motivate me. Harshness, I'm
Yeah.
not motivated by that.
Yeah. It makes me want to cry.
Right?
Exactly. I felt
Shut
this one
down and
too.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna catch up with the chat. Hi, Flo. My guest this morning is Salla. She has a
Mm-hmm.
YouTube channel and an Instagram page called CardTimesAhead. And you probably recognize her from my chat and comment section. She's always hanging out with us here. And she is just a
Yes.
sweetheart. And this is something we've been trying to pull together for some time. And I have to tell you, the moment I heard her voice this morning when we connected for this live, I just got chills. I just got them again. It was just like it's finally happening. It's such a good feeling. So we're just sitting here making scrappy cards and talking about everything and anything. I think we're big sharers, she and I. Um,
Mm,
and so that's what we're up to, and we're glad you're here.
yes. I'm so happy people decided to spend some of their morning or day with us. It's
I
awesome.
know. I always feel
And
that way. I know they could be anywhere, that you guys could be
mm,
spending your time absolutely anywhere, but the fact that you spend time here just honors me and blows my mind and warms my heart. It's a great feeling.
yeah. And Beck is also here. She is such a lovely supporter, always. She comments on my videos and keeps on showing up. She's great.
I love her
Obviously,
too.
you are all great. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, so many know me as the mod in here. Just
Yes. You are a
they're
fabulous
like,
mod.
yeah, I was just talking to Andrea or Flo like the last time, so it's funny.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of y'all's conversation where you're like, I hope I'm using the right name with the right person.
Yeah,
Essentially, I was like, yes, yes.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so many great people. I love this community just so
yeah,
much. I don't know what I'm doing right now other than just playing and having fun. Let me post her channel
yeah.
in the chat. Dawn, um Dawn, do you mind posting Card Times Ahead YouTube channel in the chat? And your own, please do your own. Dawn also has a fabulous channel. And
Yes,
see,
she
so
does.
if you don't mind, Dawn, please post both if you have a moment. If you don't, no pressure. My two mods are here, one on duty and one crafting.
Yeah, slacking.
Thank you, Dawn. You're a sweetheart. I love you. Um,
Oops.
I'm making a big
Wow, this
old
is really
mess.
noisy.
Still don't know if this guy's really going to go in here or not, but he might. He might. All right, let me put this on a card base and see if I even like it. I've kind of gone completely rogue here. Let's see. That's what I do.
I was just I was just thinking about how you said that mixed media was one of the craft roulette's parameters. It will
Uh
be
huh.
so interesting to see how people turn up for that because I know so many feel like mixed media is really um, challenging and hard and
Yes.
just like alien basically. um,
Yes, I know. Mixed media, I think, is an intimidating. Um, it's not even a
yeah,
technique, but theory for some to adopt. And I too am excited to see how people interpret it, how they play with it, how they make it their own for Craft Roulette this week.
yeah,
You've got this. I mean, I like mixed media because I feel like anything goes,
yeah, exactly.
which is
That is.
perfect for me.
I was thinking I've got a distress watercolor color pencil here. If I take this and just trace around the edges of my paper scraps, this is going to be so interesting.
Yes.
Um, and it's not even watercolor paper, so I'm living really dangerously in here. Um, what a risk taker, right?
Love it.
Let's see. Um, because I noticed that I had my what's watercolor brush, the tank brush. I'm losing my words here. I blame the last night and ADHD. Always blame the ADHD if you can.
Completely fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I missed that, and I even want to make this one a little bit more visible. Okay, I think I've got it all. Then I'm just going to take my brush and probably wet it first so that it actually works. Let's see what happens. I think this is going to be so interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this with all of them, but okay, look. Now
I
this
always
is
have
mixed
one
media.
that's not like the others.
Yeah,
I can't help
see,
myself.
that's suitable. That is suitable for both of us. We're the
Yes.
fun ones that just don't match with the
One that's
rest.
just not like the others.
Yeah, the strange kid on the block.
Right.
But I feel like there are more of us out there. So
There are.
it's
We are not
so comfortable.
alone.
Yeah, comfortable. Let's see.
I
Okay.
wouldn't change anything about myself in that way because what
Mm,
if, and I've heard others say similar things, then what would my creative journey look like if I changed who I was? And
yeah.
you know, I mean I could definitely make improvements on myself, but I wouldn't change my myself or my journey.
Yeah. It's different. It's a different thing to change yourself than to improve.
Right.
So yeah. Okay. Now this is officially a mixed media card. There we go. Not hard.
Nice. That's right. And you're totally right. It doesn't take a
So
lot. Like
yeah.
you don't have to do pastes and stencils. You don't have to do everything to for a
Yeah,
card to be mixed media. You can just do a couple of things.
absolutely. Uh, what's
Let's
my channel name? It's Card Times Ahead, like Hard Times Ahead, but with a C. Dawn was just asking. I probably missed the 7 first times when she was
Oh, right.
asking, but
Yes. Card times ahead.
yeah.
I love that name. How did you come up with that name for your channel?
It was actually I once upon a time I had a blog. Um, I did not stay on top of it. I only posted a few times. Doing a blog was not my thing. Too
Mm-hmm.
much writing, too much taking photos, and on top of that, just like my Instagram, I decided to do my um, blog in 2 different languages. But anyway,
Ah,
when I was founding that blog or starting with it, I had recently gotten unemployed, or I wasn't fired or anything. I just, my contract on a
had ended.
hotel ended. Yeah. So I chose hard times instead of hard times. So
I
that's how
love
I
that.
came up with the name. I love puns and dad jokes or dad jokes.
Oh, I know. Me too.
So
My
yeah,
daughter despises puns, like fully despises puns. I love them, and
yeah.
it's just hilarious. We like to tease each other about it.
But then again, maybe she will come around.
Yeah, she
Um,
could.
she she disliked gnomes as well, I believe.
Oh, yes, but Natasha kept sending me gnome cards and she won her over. So Miss Natasha
Yeah.
fixed that problem. She fixed that
There's
right up.
solution to everything. Yeah. Once again, thanks to card making community, the world was
Yes,
saved.
that's right. Healing one child at a time and their
Yeah.
distaste for gnomes.
So funny. I think I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I actually like the results. I'm just going to go a little bit stronger on this one. Let's see. I'm trying to read the comments.
Really don't
Dawn
know about
says,
this card, but I'm going to keep going. I think it's so
I think it
important.
looks
You just
awesome.
have to keep going. You guys,
Yeah,
like if you give up, you'll never know what it could be.
yeah.
And,
Just,
I learned when I used to make jewelry and sell it that the pieces I wouldn't even like it at all and it might be the first thing that would sell, you never know.
yeah.
There's what someone is going to like about something even if you don't like it.
Yeah, that's the odd part, something I've noticed as well. Like, but whenever you go to a card making group or something, you will really like notice how many different types of cards people are making. And
Mhm.
obviously, most people do not make cards that they don't like. So, or I do all the time. But anyway, off the point.
You're the exception.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. It's just, it made me realize that even though I think I just made the ugliest card in the world, there's definitely somebody out there who thinks that it's the maybe not the prettiest, but one of their favorites. So
Right.
just keep at it. And I think your card is great. So,
Oh, thanks. I don't know, but it's a card and it used
yeah,
my scraps.
and that's what we came here to do.
That's what we
We
that was the
probably,
objective.
yeah,
So,
we did not probably make Gail really proud of
right?
us, but we came here, we showed up.
I love Gail.
Yeah, she's so wonderful. Um, just another exception of, not exception, just one of examples of how amazing this junk journal slash card making slash paper crafting community really is.
Mhm. She has just a beautiful heart and
Yeah,
um I have been watching her, I guess since 2017, 2016,
mm,
and she's so open and caring and sharing and I just love her.
yeah, absolutely. And I think she's just, I don't know, one of those people that make you feel all warm and fuzzy about them, even
Yes,
though you have never
never
actually
met
met
her.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she's inspiring actually in the same way as you are. You both do different things, and you just go with it. Like, just do it. Only things you will regret is those that you did not do. Or
that's right. That's right. And
yeah,
it's only paper and to me, it's more about the process,
yeah. Hey,
than the
TR.
end result. It's about the process. Card making was a very
Yeah,
healing journey for me. I found it in a time when I was suffering from PTSD, and it was I've had a lot of healing in my life because of card making,
yeah,
and so I don't want to undo all that great work by, forcing myself in any way. I just want to go with the flow. It's the one
Yeah.
place where I can do that safely. I can do whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I also like the factor where you make cards for donation.
Yes.
So that is awesome.
Yeah, I need to do more. I went through a bunch of my cards recently and filled a big box. Just because, of course, I'm also like prolific in the number of cards that I make. So I was able to donate hundreds, but
Yeah.
I like to do that frequently. So it's about time that I make some intentional play sessions that are just for donation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
I
definitely
really
like
need
that
to
better. Putting
I really
eyelets in
need
my
to learn
cups.
to, yeah. Yeah, it's like a nice final touch.
It
Makes it
really
look,
is. It makes a difference.
yeah, it makes it look finished.
Hi,
Uh
Michelle. Hey, TR. Hi, Jenny. How is everyone? We're so glad you're here.
Hey Janine. I can relate to that too. Oh, look, now I have decided to glue this card front
Mm-hmm.
into my table, obviously, because I had this scrap piece of cardstock that had a hole in the middle. And I was looking at it and I was like, okay, so I'll just spread the glue on the edges of my card front, and not a biggie. I will leave opening in the center and probably add some glue on the sides of this oval as well. But there we go. I decided to do against what I decided to do because
Oh, that
I just
happens.
was not paying attention.
Yep, that happens.
The funny thing is that I've got no clue what no glue. I've got no clue on what I will put on top of these cards. I've got some nice scrappy backgrounds with the circles, but no additional plans.
You know what? I have a box of cards like that. They're like card fronts that I started and didn't finish for whatever reason. And then I
Yeah,
can just pull from it when I just find the right piece of ephemera or I just want to make something quickly. I can pull from that box.
yeah,
It's kind
yeah,
of
that's
nice to
smart.
have some bases made sometimes.
Yeah, that is really, really true.
I think
Okay,
this
let's
one is
see.
done. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I can put this down here and a word inside of it.
Oh man, I really need to figure out. Oops. See, here's the difference between the A2 and the A6 card base. This front, it should fit on A6, but it definitely does not fit on A2.
So the A6
Yeah,
is skinnier and it's not as
yeah,
wide and it's taller.
yeah, it's longer. I'm just
Mm.
trying to look because I decided to take my class mat off before the live, and it has the inch scaling, so I usually use that to measure things, but it's not on right now, so I have an issue. And this one is in centimeters. That doesn't help me at all. Let's I'll just I'll keep on going through my craft mats until I find something that is beneficial. So this is like 4 1/8 times 5 and almost 7/8.
So tell me what it's like to follow like an American card maker and a lot, I think I'm a little different. I don't give a ton of measurements usually, and I'm just kind of going with the flow. But a
Yeah.
lot of card makers are very detailed in their measurements and exactly their directions on how to make this exact card. What is that like for someone who uses the metric system and lives abroad?
Honey, I really wouldn't know because I follow you and Desiree. You guys don't measure.
We don't measure. We're not worried about that.
Yeah. So,
Ah,
well, that's something that the European sources often warn you about. It's like if you see a card that is made in A2 and you try to make one that it's in A6, it's not going to look the same.
it's not.
It's just not.
Right.
It's it would be off if you would use. Obviously, like one good example of this matter is the sheet load because
Uh-huh.
it's in A2.
Right.
But often I haven't made that many sheet loads, to be honest. I think it's a great concept, but I rarely need that many similar cards because I don't have
Mm.
that many places to measure. And I just, if I would make a set like 12 cards and they are exactly the same, I would get bored in
Uh,
the middle of it. So I often end up changing things up a little bit anyway. So yeah.
yeah, so I could see that, that would be a challenge if, converting, you're constantly having to convert
Hmm.
measurements, and because you are working with such a different landscape, that even if you convert
Yeah.
the measurements and you're like, okay, I converted all my measurements to fit my card, it just won't have the same final presentation.
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of like the same. You make so many of your sheet loads 5 by 7, right? And they
Right.
weren't designed that way. So
Right.
you take the inspiration from the sheet load or
Exactly.
whatever you are working with and just figure out the rest. It's not a big deal. Obviously, it can be really really challenging whenever you are a beginner and you kind of just want to case the cards to learn.
Right.
It's a learning process. So and you don't really have the skills or preferably the mindset to make your own designs and so on. So then it's a challenge. But after that, like I don't want to copy or case anybody's card anyway.
Right.
That's
You want to do
just,
your own thing.
yeah, although most people don't mind that, somehow I find it a little bit not disrespectful or anything, but um, I don't know, it just makes me feel a little bit weird, which is even weirder because I wouldn't mind at all if somebody would look at my card
Exactly.
and think like, yeah, I want to make something like that, or I want to use the same um, paper she used and make exactly the same card because I have the same products. I wouldn't mind that at all. But when I think about it in a way where I would make a card that somebody else made, it
Hmm.
just it doesn't suit my trail of thoughts, basically.
So when you watch a video, you're looking for inspiration, not
Mm.
uh, exactly direction, like specific
Yeah,
directions.
exactly.
You're looking for inspiration.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I think following directions has never been my strongest. attribute
Yeah.
anyway, so I can totally relate to that. Um, and I too understand about like casing cards, as far as like you want to be inspired, but you don't want to make the exact same card.
Yeah.
Um, I get that. I get that. And I also understand about like making too many of the same card. One of the things I do with um, the sheet load, and it just depends on the month and what I'm using them for, because sometimes I'm just making it because I want to make something pretty. And then, like, sometimes I'm making birthday invitations or something. I'm taking it and making Christmas cards, something practical. But depending on the application for me and what I'm doing with the sheet load that month, you can definitely change them up. Like, you could cut all the pieces out, but apply them differently, um,
Yeah.
and things like that as well.
Yes, and that's exactly what I did. I think it was in December. That is actually by far the most popular of the videos that I've done
Oh, yeah,
here on
sheet load.
YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. People really follow the hashtag, I guess. But that's exactly what I did. I think one of the cards that I made was actually similar to the original sketch, or exactly like the original sketch, but the rest of them, it was just me going wild.
Right.
So
Well,
yeah,
and that's wonderful, and I know that that's how Alicia, I think she envisions many people doing it, is as a jumping off point. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to give you these measurements, I'm going to give you this sketch, but then you can totally make it your own. You know, I know she's in support of that because I'm on her team. And so if she can have me on her team doing my thing, then that that is something that she's behind, is someone taking these sketches and making it their own.
yeah, exactly. So,
I think she
but
she finds a lot of inspiration in that, herself, like,
yeah,
to put out a sketch and see hundreds of people using it and making it their own. And even though you're all starting with the same basic recipe, how different it can be depending on whose hands it's in. It's a
mm,
fascinating thing, actually, um, seeing that kind of variety in a sketch.
yeah, absolutely.
I like
Um,
craft roulette. You all start with the same parameters, but it doesn't take any time at all, and you can see like how different it can all be.
yeah, exactly. Don't even get me started on that one.
Right.
It's
I'm gonna
like
catch up
it's
with the chat real quick.
yeah,
um oh, Michelle's headed out for shopping. Have fun.
yes, absolutely. And behave. That's what I always tell myself.
Yeah, behave and shopping don't always go hand in hand, do they?
No, or behaving and no buys. That's something I've
Oh
learned.
my goodness. Oh, I know. I need to start another no buy. I'll talk about that in a minute. 5.25. I've been a very uh I don't know. I'm not even going to label it, but I need to do a no buy again. Let's
Hmm.
see. The Joy Ninja's here. Hey there. It's after midnight in New Zealand, but thankfully it's a Saturday night, so sleeping tomorrow. Oh, I'm so glad you could catch us. I'm so glad you could be
Yeah.
here. I love the Joy Ninja name. I think that is so fabulous. So, Rebecca's in the Midwest. And Andrea's in Michigan, Southeast, more specifically. Oh, and Rebecca's in Ohio.
Oops.
Dawn is in Maine, so we're getting some check-ins, some geographical check-ins. I'm in Texas, and Salla is in Finland. I thought she was in
Yeah.
Sweden this whole time. She's actually in Finland. Oh my
No,
goodness.
but
And
I don't
Jamin.
know. I don't know why. We've been talking about it before, and you've always placed me in Finland.
Or in Sweden?
No, Finland, which is the
Oh,
correct place. So I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
where
why
it
today.
switched this morning. I have a funny story though. My husband was like, "Oh my goodness, this band is coming to town and I really want to see them." I was like, "Fantastic. I'll buy us tickets, my treat, you know." And so I go on to buy the tickets and stuff, and then like 2 weeks later I heard a Rage Against the Machine song and I was like, "I can't wait to see Rage in a couple of weeks." And he was like, "What are you talking about? We're not seeing Rage Against the Machine." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "We're seeing Cypress Hill." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "This whole time I thought we were seeing Rage." He's like, "You bought the tickets. How did you?" It's like once my brain gets on a certain track, that it doesn't want to leave the track. So my brain was on the Rage Against the Machine track, and we're actually seeing Cypress Hill. So whatever, it's funny. He's like, but I blew his mind. He still giggles about it. Like, I still can't believe you thought we were seeing a completely different band. I'm like, I know. I don't know. My brain just said this is who we're seeing, and that's all there is to it. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, Tana, welcome. I
Yeah,
hope you're
things
doing
like that happen
good.
to me too. So yeah, I
I'm
can
in good
relate.
company. Oh,
Uh,
hi, Reagan. Reagan's coming in from Durango. I love Durango. I love Colorado. Oh, one of my favorite states. I would live there in a heartbeat if my hubby could handle the cold, but he cannot. Yes, it is Star Wars Day, May the 4th. That's right. I when Salla and I were talking about what were we going to work on, I mentioned that. I was like, well, Star Wars is always an option. I have a couple of
yeah.
Star Wars cards. I'll grab them. Salla, you go ahead and take over the mic.
Huh. Okay, this is going to be interesting.
No pressure,
uh,
no pressure. I want to see if I can
yeah,
find these Star Wars cards.
yeah, of course. I guess I was a little bit boring because I said, yeah, I'm not really a Star Wars fan. But how about a scrappy Saturday? So that's what we are on today. Let's see. Oh, hey, Rhonda. How are you doing, Miss Line?
They're not
Or
easily
no,
accessible.
Mrs. Not Miss, Mrs. I think. Pretty sure. Like when somebody is married, they're Mrs. Not Miss, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Because I find it um, really interesting because when I first saw Brenda's name, I was like, okay, so that looks exactly like a Finnish last name, Line. It means a small wave, basically.
Oh.
And later on, she told me that she is married to a Finnish guy, just, they live in Australia. So that was like, oh, that
Ah.
explains it.
How cool.
Yeah,
I could not find the
yeah,
Star
we're,
Wars cards. No worries.
oh,
But yes, it is May 4th. They're somewhere in, you know, mixed
they could
amongst
be in,
the masses
yeah,
of cards that I have.
and they're Star Wars cards, so they could be in outer space,
They could be in on any
celebrating.
planet with a number of
Yeah,
moons. Yeah, they could be
yeah,
anywhere.
exactly. Or on the rings of
Ooh.
Jupiter or something. Jupiter. I don't know.
Kim is backing me up on the fact that I need to go for a no buy. Yeah, I have been buying all the things.
Yeah.
Totally erased any progress I had made. I mean, I did. pay off a small credit card while I was doing my no buy, and I have not erased that progress, but I've definitely been making up for lost time.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about
It
it.
took
Once you
1
quit,
month
you're
to do
just
as
like,
much damage as I would normally do in 3 after that no buy ended.
oh, yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Somebody
goodness.
mentioned these birds that I'm using and them
Yes, I
being
love those
perfect.
birds.
Yeah, they are unfortunately mine, all mine. um, like I said, I'm on Natty and Moon's design team, and she designs the papers. But I was able to access some of the clip art that she uses.
Mm.
But I should probably really mention to her that people love the birds. Maybe we
Yes,
can work something out. Who knows?
the birds are fabulous. So, are you
Yeah.
thinking of doing your own, uh, like selling your digitals somewhere? Would you sell them on Etsy? Or, or what is your current
Yeah.
thought process on that?
Um, yes and no. So a definite maybe. Uh, uh, I don't know yet. It's an idea that is really tempting to me for sure. For now, I'm probably not going to do the actual like designing for digitals. I don't
Mhm.
think, but I do have the templates for the folio that I designed. This one that I showed in the beginning. So basically, I think if I would add commercial rights to it, which is obviously Natty has the rights because I gave the templates to her too. But I think they could be good for not only companies, they could be great for just ordinary crafters because they could use their own paper with the templates. So these days, that's something my mind is circling around, especially because I'm like completely broke right now. I've been on the sick leave for so long away from work that my income is um, close to zero, really. So I'm
Yeah.
really struggling financially, to be honest. So I've been kind of thinking about additional ways to make money,
Right.
but for now I'm just suffering, and I I topped up my credit card. So now I'm doing the same with my boyfriends, with the vet expenses. It's a struggle, but um, it'll be fine. Um, it's
Do you
just going to
have
be.
like boutiques, shops that sell that you think you could maybe sell your cards and journals and things?
Um, my boyfriend's mom actually sometimes takes my cards to her workplace, but handmade cards are quite expensive. So it's only
Right.
like during um, big holidays when people are interested. And right now, when I had lost my mojo and all that, unfortunately, I could not make any Mother's Day cards or anything like that. So um, that has been on pause as well. But I don't know. It's just the one thing that I'm kind of worried about selling the digital taxes because the Finnish tax system is kind of weird when it comes to that. And I was reading stuff like if you sell digital items to um, other countries from Finland, um, you will have to make sure that you pay the taxes to into the countries where the buyers are from. And
Oh,
I'm pretty
wow.
sure Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Etsy handles all that. But then
Uh-huh.
again, after all that I've heard about Etsy, um, it could easily turn into uh,
A
basically making
problem.
close to nothing. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, which is why I understood you closed your Etsy shop because
Yeah,
it
just
just,
yeah, the
yeah,
the commission, the amount of that they were taking, I just felt was a little expensive and high, especially because I drive most of the business to my shop, from my channel,
yeah,
versus I'm not really depending on them for them um, to drive business to my shop. I'm doing it,
mm,
and I'm
yeah,
paying very high rates for them where they yeah. Yeah, I got frustrated with that, and that's why I pulled out of Etsy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a great platform, but it has its issues. But then again, if you don't have any other place to sell your products on,
Right.
um, yeah, it's better than nothing, obviously. But yeah, I think I have to um, talk to the tax office in here to make sure because I don't want to end up in a situation where I like sell my products and then get into into real big trouble over like
Exactly.
now okay now you have to pay your taxes to this place and now you have to um, pay this and that much taxes to this place and then I'm like well Etsy took its own part and then now I have to pay pay all the taxes to everywhere so I make nothing. But
Right.
yeah, I'm pretty sure Etsy handles that part of it, but I need to check.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I have no clue on that as far as with the Finnish law and everything like that.
Mm, yeah, exactly. Not many people do. Go
Right.
figure. Yeah, I think I want to add some
I'm just grabbing
watercolor
some
pencil.
random paper. I started a scrappy journal with just a paper bag, one of my paper
Yay.
bag journals.
Mm.
Now I'm going through and finding some random scraps of printables that have never been turned into anything as of yet.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever you are working with printables, you print and print and print and print, and then when you're finished with the project, you have all these random scraps, which I obviously are using or am using right here, right now, just leftover pieces. Um, and by the way, a great tip for those that use digital papers. Whenever you are printing out papers like pockets or whatever for your junk journal, um, if you print it double sided, even though the project wouldn't really need that, if there's like additional space on the paper, you can use the scraps on the other side because
Right.
otherwise you would just end up with white scraps. So that is something I do
That's
often
a
if
good
there's
tip.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
if there's
because
like plenty of room on the page, I will print the other side
that is a
on
great
a
tip.
pattern.
And the one I'm cutting out right now is a good example of that because I'm cutting out an envelope and I'm cutting off a lot of excess paper. But because it's not
Mm,
double sided, I can't flip it over and use it. But if it was double sided, I could flip it over and use all of this.
yeah.
Um, Instead, that's going in recycling. Um,
Although you can always make like post stamps or
that's
just
true.
stamp on it or whatever, so it's not necessarily wasted, but that's just a thought.
I like it. It's a good one. It is a good one indeed. I really like how your cards are coming along. I think they're very beautiful. I love the color palette, the birds,
Oh,
just everything. I think they're lovely.
thank you. I'm actually quite pleased with them myself. I'm trying to say positive things about my own work these days, if
Yes,
you
you
can notice.
should. You most
It's
certainly
just,
should.
yeah, it's like I'm really insecure when it comes to things I make, and obviously being Finnish, our nature is like we don't make a huge deal of ourselves.
Uh-huh.
Usually, that's just not part of our culture. We're really humble and kind of like wallflowers, really.
Right?
That is why we are so well presented on the Facebook Facebook's Dull Women's Club. I've seen so many Finnish ladies in there because we are just dull, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know. Um, it's just I'm trying to learn to lift my own tail, basically. Like
Yes.
not to toot my own horn or anything, but
No, but
I'm
I
trying
think,
to.
I I understand, like, but you can celebrate because you know where you started, and you can
Yeah,
celebrate your accomplishments. And I think it comes more from like a surprise, like, oh my gosh, I just made that. Like,
yeah,
sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I really like that. I can't believe I just made that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, but then again, sometimes when I was um, not a complete beginner to card making, I wouldn't say that, but like years ago, when I found that I was looking up to people and thinking like I never be that good. Nowadays, when I go back on Instagram or whatever, and I look at the old things that I made, I'm actually quite pleased with some of them.
Yes.
I can remember thinking like, this is just a plain old card. Not sure if anybody is going to like this, and then I find myself liking it.
I
So
actually have a box in my craft room on top of all the boxes, or I have this little storage unit where I keep all my cards.
yeah,
And the first drawer on top of it is all the cards I made in the first year, not all of them, but a lot of the cards that I made in the first year that I was a card maker. And I keep them as a reminder, and I actually find a lot of inspiration there because I was just figuring out a lot of techniques, and I was doing things um, that I wasn't seeing someone else do, but that I was just coming up with on my own.
yeah,
And they're very like out of the box, and um, you know, they're not they're they're not ordinary in a way of ordinary techniques.
yeah,
Of course, ordinary can be extraordinary, but it is fun to go through those and be inspired.
yeah, yeah. But that's the thing. One day I was like, I didn't know what to watch on YouTube, so I went to see some of your old videos. It was probably back when I wasn't even subscribing to your channel yet, so I hadn't seen them. Uh, but I can clearly remember one of the cards that you made. It was the you used, or let's let's start again. You took like two pieces of cardstock or patterned paper, and you hinged them together with butterflies or something like
Yes.
that.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that was so smart, and like I was thinking that I myself would probably think like, why would I do that? Like I can just use a card base, a
Mm-hmm.
card base folds if I would come up with something like that. And as a viewer of your older video, I was like, that is so smart. And that is so fun. And that is so out of the box, like you said. So it's just, I found myself thinking that I'm so glad that you decided to share the video. So that's a mindset that I need to consider when I'm doing something. Like there could be somebody who thinks that they will be um, happy that I'm sharing something, and maybe
Yes.
then I will actually make videos or
I
more of
That
them.
video actually came up recently because of craft roulette. It was a hinge card. I think a hinge was one of the parameters. And
Yeah.
someone said, I thought I could probably find a video on your channel. And they found that one. And, it's something that helped them complete their craft roulette card because they were
Yeah.
able to think of a different way to hinge their card.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't discredit what you bring because even if it feels like an old hat to you, a lot of people are just now discovering this hobby. So it's all new
Yeah.
to them. And, or they're discovering, you know, a new way and they're looking for inspiration. That's why they're on your channel. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I would definitely say just make the cards and make the videos and don't second guess it. I mean, there's no limit to what you can upload on YouTube for one. It's not like we have to be um discerning and like, oh, that'll be too many videos, like you can upload as many as you like. So if one doesn't you're thinking, oh, I don't know if this is good enough or if people will like this, don't worry. You'll just go back and upload another one another day. And soon enough, you'll have so
Yeah.
many, you won't even remember that one that you used to question.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, what's going to happen if I upload a video that people won't watch? Nothing. They just
Nothing.
won't watch it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's all there is to it. So I don't know. It's just the critic in me that I really need to learn how to quiet, and that
Silence.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
silence. Um, it's, I don't know. It's partially why I have been taking the mixed media course in my work recently, because I think mixed media is really free spirited, and I love how you take like pieces of paper, like scraps, and begin with those. Then you layer on some paint, and it's a process. And what you do first is most likely at least completely, if not completely, covered um, behind the second and third and so on layers.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's just, I have found that really relaxing. Let's see.
Yeah. I love mixed media.
Yeah,
Myself. It
definitely.
just with mixed media, I can throw anything at the project. I can use anything and everything in my stash, and there's something very freeing in that. So if I'm making a mermaid card, I can use a stencil that I have. I can use stamps that I have. I can use paper. I can use maybe colors that are iridescent that make me think of mermaids. You know,
Mm.
anything goes, which makes my brain very happy.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's why I love craft roulette too, um, or one of the things I love about it is that it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
Um, it's like pretty free there. It's a lovely community as well.
Mhm.
People don't come to you and say like, well,
That's
that
not
part
good
is kind of so
enough.
and so. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like, what kind of paper did you use for that? That's like so last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, or that image is not colored perfectly. Like, what were you thinking? Nobody's going to do that.
No, it's such a
So
good community. All craft, all skill levels are welcome and encouraged. And, my husband
yeah,
made his first and only card ever on Craft Roulette live with me one time. He did
yeah.
an episode
Wow.
with me. And, like, of course, that takes a lot of courage because he had never made a card before. But that was the best place for him to do it because, you know, it's a safe space. It's for all skill
Yeah,
levels. It's for all people, and
yeah.
you're not expected to be anything but who you are and be creative.
Absolutely. And that brings us all to a realization that even though somebody is a beginner, it doesn't mean that somebody more experienced wouldn't have anything to learn from them.
That's right. In
Um,
fact, I'm often amazed how many guests on there who are much more, like much bigger channels than mine, maybe much more experienced on a lot more design teams, have more prestige than I do,
mm,
but they're they just make A2 cards, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, they make
yeah,
beautiful A2 cards, and that's why they're so successful, obviously. But they, I think, can find inspiration when they look at the gallery and when they look at other card makers because there's people who are doing things that are outside of that box,
yeah,
and so everyone has an opportunity to learn and be inspired regardless of your skill level and regardless of your following. um, we all have an opportunity when we look at that gallery and we look at the cards that the public is making to be inspired,
yeah,
myself included.
exactly.
I love the gallery.
We all included.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, and well, I use Facebook mainly for the crafting groups,
Hmm.
like mindless crafting and craft roulette and so on. So I love to go in there, and actually enjoy going in there and saying something positive to somebody. It's like one of my favorite things
Yes.
to give the positive feedback, because I know that if the person who posted it is having a rough day or rough season,
Second guessing themselves.
yeah, exactly. Or maybe even if they are having the best day of their lives, it will make them feel even better if
Even
I say
better.
something positive.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, and I
so
think we can relate to the fact that when you put yourself out there, it takes like 20 seconds of courage to press the post button and share something. But then it's after the fact that the doubt really can set in. And so when you have those positive comments and that feedback, it helps reduce that doubt that sets in after you've had the courage to share.
yeah,
I'm going to catch up with the
yeah.
comments in our section real quick and catch up with our chatter box. Hello, everyone. Hi, Rhonda Lane. You're not late to the party. You're right on time. Oh, Janen's son is traveling.
Hmm.
That's sweet. I hope he has safe travels and fun travels. Hello, hello to everyone watching. It looks like we have 51 guests here watching with us right now. So, hello to everyone, whether you're in the chat or you're watching silently. I watch many live streams silently. I watched Craft Roulette from the beginning last night, but I didn't jump in until near the end because that's when I was ready. So, I totally understand. Oh, Rebecca remembers when I made those cards. Yeah, those hinge cards were so much fun. Um, So, Salla, how are you doing? How is your project? How are your fur cards coming along? I
They
see
are
the one you're
almost
working on
finished.
now.
hmm I'm I have put the embellishments on, or the focal images basically. They are all here. Um, I am considering on putting like a little something in the corners because I used that fancy corner punch of mine
Ooh.
for those. So I think I kind of feel sad that I didn't think of putting a prat in the corners. I think that would have been fantastic.
I
But
love
I
them so
guess
much. I
thank you,
absolutely love your cards.
thank you so much.
I think they're
And
beautiful.
looks like I
You could
didn't
always
stay in
put
frame.
a gem and on the corners as if it was a
Yeah,
brad. You could use some jimmies.
yeah, exactly. That's why I had this box, but I think these were a little bit too sparkly for the cards because they are a little bit
Mm.
crunchy and kind of like vintage in a way. So, but I have
Do you
these
have
flatback pearls.
like
Mm,
enamel uh
yeah,
like nouveau drops or some sort of ooh, those would be pretty.
yeah, I do have some, but honestly, I have given up. I have completely given up on nouveau drops. We do not come or go well together because they always flatten out on me, or you
Yes.
know they I honestly, I'm sorry. I don't want to say negative things
Right.
on companies,
No,
but
I
I
get it.
think
I
they
get it.
really dropped the ball on that one, because even if you store your cards upright, if the other card is touching the nouveau drops, it will flat.
Yeah.
So,
And the stick and things, I've had that problem. I like now you're in Finland, obviously, but
mm,
I like the scrapbook.com pops of color. They're very dimensional.
yeah,
And I find that when they dry, they're not still as sticky to other surfaces and other cards.
mm,
So
yeah,
that has been
yeah. I've
one that
seen
I've
those.
switched to.
Yeah, that's something I've been considering. Oh my goodness, considering of buying or doing, but the problem is that these days, whenever I order something outside European Union, I
Hmm.
end up paying 24%, soon 26% more of the item. So let's say
Right.
if I purchase something that costs, let's say, $100 with the postage, I will have to pay 26% of that to the customers in here. So it's not really worth it, honestly. And even UK, that has many companies like Simon Says and so on. I believe they are from there. Not sure. Anyway, they do have tons of companies. Um, I don't really order anything from there anymore because they're not in European Union anymore, and it
Ah,
it
yes.
just takes the point out of it.
Yeah. So, do you have scrapbooking stores in Finland? Where do you shop
Yeah,
when in Finland? What are some
we
of the
have
stores that you shop from?
We have actually multiple. Some of them are like actual physical stores, but I mainly shop on the online stores.
Hmm.
Actually, last month I did. like I was for a month I was in one company's design team. I guess I could put it like that. They sent me a package, and I did a couple of lives um, based on their monthly theme on their Facebook group. So yeah, we
Nice.
have our own stores, and most of the companies we have here sell international products like Minte or B13 or whatever, all of them really. So, but yeah, we have many of the things available, but sadly, scrapbook.com, I'm not sure. It's possible that one of our stores has them, but not, I
So
don't know.
that's just where, you make an edit. So you're like, see, if you see me using, pops of color, you're like, okay, I don't have pops of color, but I have these embellishments, or I have, a substitute for. I think
Yeah.
that's good, instead of feeling like you have to have everything that, I never want people to feel that way when they're hanging out with me on my channel, that they have to have exactly what I have or everything that I have. That would be insane, because I have an insane amount. But yeah, like where you improvise and you use what you have or what you have access to.
Yeah, you can get inspired by the idea, the project, the colors, whatever. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I often, whenever I'm filming a video or doing a live, obviously not when I'm actually doing it for a company. That's not the right place to say, just use what you have. You don't have to
Right.
have this. But when I'm doing something for myself, that's something I like to keep in mind also. Um, just everyone has their own things. And even if you don't have these birds, maybe you have some birds, or even if you don't have this doily thingy, maybe you have your own die cuts you can use, or
Hmm.
just regular doilies. So
Absolutely.
good morning,
Um,
tumbling.
I'm gonna catch up with the chat again.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends is here, Megan Close. Hey, girl. Hey, I'm so glad you caught alive. Also, your Christmas card came back to me. So please go over and send me your address. I have part of your address. I just, for some reason, they returned it to me, and I want to get it to you. So I haven't sent out Happy Mail since Christmas, but I have a whole stack of it ready over there that I need to send out. And I saw her here, and she often doesn't get to catch me on alive, so I just had to let her know. Um, oh, you like all these papers, Dawn? Did you like the painted papers? Is that what you were? Well, let's make some painted papers together, Dawn. So, Salla, let's go through and share our makes with everyone.
Yes, it's time, definitely. Do you want to go first?
No, I want you to go first.
Uh, I was trying to be polite. That's what I get. Okay, I will stand up. So I decided, or I saw that I was out of frame probably for the most of the live, but I'm sorry.
No, you've
Anyway,
been good. I've been
so
able to follow. I've
okay,
been watching you.
okay, cool. So here's the first one. Those that weren't here from the beginning, I started by making masterboard, and after that, I cut them into pieces and used some, what is this? Tim Holtz Distress Watercolor pencil to basically bring the pieces out a little bit more. And the all the papers and all are from Natty and Moon. So here's the first one. And here's the second one. Really
They're so
similar, yet the
beautiful.
different. Thank
So many
you.
hearts are going up for you and the live.
Thank you, everyone. But I think this one is the different child. but I think it's still fun. Happy
It is.
accident. And here is the fourth one. So I did make 4 cards, and I might add some
Nice.
embellishments later, but this is what I've got so far.
They're so beautiful. I love the one with the 2 birds.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
like how the one is, I mean, I ripped the paper, and the one is cut right next to it, so it's a nice contrast.
They are beautiful. They're like a little treasure. I love them. Awesome job. Awesome,
Thank you
awesome
so much.
job. I am catching up a little bit with the comments. Sorry, Megan, I wasn't sure which stencil you were asking about, but I was using a lot of Dina and I had some Simon. So I had, before I share mine, I had this one from Simon Creates, which was the Honey Hive. I have these 2 new ones from Dina Wakley that I absolutely love. This one's called the Grid, I think. Wait, what is this called? Stacked. This one's called Stacked here. And then this one I think is the Columns. I don't think I have the packaging handy. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what this one's called. I'm sorry, but it's a new release. And you can find it over at Ranger or wherever you shop for Ranger products, but this one's really cool. I have it in an upcoming video. Oh, Megan, you're a member, so you can see it in my I have early videos up for my members right now, and I used it in there, so you'll be able to see it there. Let me see. So many comments, you guys. I'm further behind than I thought I was. I'm sorry.
We always are.
I know it's hard. Okay, so here are my cards. I used scraps today as well. So that was our theme for today was Scrappy Saturday. Thanks to Gail Augustinelli. She was the inspiration as far as being scrappy. And I had a lot of green when I first started the live. I had a lot of green scraps. So I pulled those and then I pulled some random Hobby Lobby ephemera, and then I used some of my Dina Wakley transfers that I had painted yesterday with acrylic paint. Those were like my final touches for each card. They're very random. I used some Tim Holtz sentiments. This one says Lost and Found, which I just thought kind of fit the randomness of the cards. And this is Dreamer of Dreams, and it feels very dreamy to me. Um, this is like my brain on a card. And then Be Curious, another fun. And I was mixing a couple of different Hobby Lobby ephemera sets there. This was my one that was quite different from the first 3. This was the 4th one I made, but it has a pocket where I just put a couple of random little tags, which were also scraps that I just cut and add. And this one was torn on both sides. I just added some of my faux vintage tape to it. And then I had this, and Salla had used her watercolor. I'm losing my voice, her watercolor pencil. And that's how I had done this one as well. So I thought that was kind of funny that we both had used watercolor pencils just in a little bit different ways. So this card is really, really different. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, but hopefully some of y'all like it. And then I threw together this little journal out of my scraps as well. This is made with a brown paper bag. Again, bringing in the transparencies from Dina Wakley, my scraps. I got a bunch of watercolor on me in the middle of our live, and then I transferred it to different places, but whatever. Um, here's I just used painted papers and things from my scraps from my bin and came up with this really scrappy little notebook slash junk journal. Um, And yeah, it's just fun. It's just a fun little something to throw in the box with all my other journals. We have a farmer's market here that I've been thinking I should get a booth and just try to sell a bunch of my journals at the farmer's market because they sell all kinds of things, not just produce. But
Hmm.
they invite artisans to sell there as well.
Your cards are
So
so amazing. They're so unique and one of the kind. I'm actually walking down the hallway right now because I noticed when I was watching what you were sharing, my phone says that I have 5% left on my battery, so that will go quick. I'm trying to
yes, well, we will
grab a
sign off
charger.
here.
Yeah,
I don't.
I know, but I want to be able to say bye before I go because my battery dies.
Thank you
Ah,
so
that's it.
much for joining me. It was such a pleasure to craft with you, to get to talk to you and craft with you. We have to do this again. I would absolutely love to have you back anytime.
Yes.
Um, Thanks for clearing the schedule for your partner to take the kids so you could be here with us today. And I absolutely love all four of your cards. They're works of art.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you to
you.
Yes. Thank you to everyone in the chat for hanging out with us. It just wouldn't be the same without you. I know I missed a lot of messages. I will go back and try to catch some of them. But thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you all feel inspired to get your scraps out today and play with them. Any final words from you, Sala?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, we definitely need to do this again. I had so much fun. And like you said, thanks everyone for hanging out. And thank you, Dawn, for the linking job you did there. And I'm just so happy. Thank you for being here. And I'm glad to be here with all of you.
Yes. And thanks for being such a great friend. You've been such a great supporter and encourager, and that kind of thing is what keeps this channel going. It's
Oh,
the encouragement and support and the community that keeps me sharing. So, thanks for being a part of that, to you and everyone else out there. Love you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
bye bye.